Did you hear? Obama's gay! Alright, so apparently this guy, Larry Sinclair, is, apparently he was having quite a bit of fun with Obama in a limousine, had sex with him a couple times, uh, cocaine was involved. Apparently this guy, Parisi, tried to sue Larry, or sue the Larry Sinclair, telling him that he falsified the lie detector test that he took. Turns out the judge threw it out because there was no way this guy was lying. That is ridiculous. Well, I mean, is it that surprising? I mean, look at Michelle Obama. She is definitely the man of the relationship. Like she hasn't been Barack a few times. No, I'm speculating, of course. Oh my goodness. But I mean, you know, if you read James Frey's novel based in sunny morning, bright sunny morning, or something along those lines, you get one of those Hollywood stories with the whole fake marriage. You know, it was a lesbian wife, it was a gay husband, and they had kids, and it was just like the husband took complete, like the power, like complete control of his status, of his complete high actor status, and did it to manipulate this one man that he essentially stalked and fell in love with, and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, good, bright, shiny morning. I think by James Frey. You know, that Million Little Pieces guy. Yeah, really interesting stuff. Anyway, what else is going on? So apparently Obama is not the globalist pick for this year's political elections, the political reality show, the presidential reality show, I guess, as Gerald Celente would put it. Um, let's see, what are the reasons why he is not the pick? Okay, let's see here. Alright, this is kind of a issue close to my heart because you look at the Cross Canada pipeline, the Keystone pipeline, that's that's our shell oil. As Canadian, that's our natural resources. I mean, yeah, it's the Queen. She owns half of our land. Um, she can shut down our parliament at any time, our government, if she doesn't like what's going on. But uh, yeah, she's it's essentially this whole North American Union Amero, getting the dollar to the Amero agenda. I mean, Americans, like, come on, what were we, like, it was like 60 cents to your dollar in what, like the early 90s? Jeez, man, like, you guys don't see what's going on, and I'm arguing with trolls saying, oh, you know, gold is just dug out of the ground, gold is just it's just, what are you gonna do? You're gonna like take little pieces of gold dust and weigh it out every time you go and buy a double cheeseburger or something like that? What are you gonna do? It's just not practical, you know. We just need paper. It's like, yeah, sure. You know what? There is paper that we could use, you know, but before 1913, it used to be redeemable in something physical. You know, it wasn't just, you know, hey, you know, like, this is legal tender, whatever the fuck that means. Alright, so that was one of those that Obama didn't do the Keystone Pipeline, and I mean, we have Bilderberg Harper, Big Brother Harper, Big Harper is watching you. Uh, he's the Bush of Canada right now. He's the George Bush Jr. of Canada. He's the Dennis the Menace of sovereignty. He's killing us, our sovereignty. Absolutely, he'd be totally down for this Keystone Pipeline business. no problem whatsoever. You know, if Romney gets in, you know that shit's gonna go down. Let's see, Dobbs-Frank bill is probably gonna be rewritten. I haven't really done a lot of research onto that, but and then third is there's gonna be a whole lot more drilling in the U.S. You know, there's going to be a whole lot of jobs opening up, oil jobs, a lot of oil rig jobs coming up under a Romney administration as well, unfortunately. Just completely raping the land, just, you know, I mean, there's so much suppressed energy and natural, you know, like there's, you know, I don't mean to sound weird, but there is a car that runs on water. There's a car that runs on hemp oil. You know, I mean, look at hemp, for example. It creates 4 times more ethanol than corn. It's 4 times more protein digested than soy. Well, I mean, most soy nowadays is GMO, but anyway. It's 4 times more more paper per acre than redwood trees per acre. Let's see. It makes everything. It's literally like a billion, well now $1 trillion crop, says Popular Mechanics in 1910s or something along those lines. 1912, 1913, who knows. It makes everything from toothpaste to TNT. Literally, you can just grow whole crops in like months, in a few months. Entire yields worth. I mean, and Americans are going ahead. Well, I mean, all right. Look at it this way. I don't mean to bash Americans. All right, you know what? In the Bush era, you know what, I was pretty anti-American, I'll admit, but since the Ron Paul, people kind of woke me up. I kind of see, you know, kind of going through the whole Ron Paul election process, I kind of felt like we were one big Ron Paul activist family. You know, it's kind of like, hey, you know what, I don't really care what your deal is, but you know what, you're down for Ron Paul, and that means you're down for you, and you're down for your community, you're down for, you know what, people around you, you're down for just loving the people around you, you know, like interacting with your neighbors, you know. It's not like, you know how hockey players, they kind of get traded very indiscriminately, very impersonally, you know. I kind of feel that's kind of the same way with where we live, you know, like we can kind of be like, hey, you know what, my job's over here, you know, I want to kind of live in the area as close as possible, you know, nice neighborhood, whatever, but, you know, you can't really pick your neighbors, you know, it's kind of like, you don't really get to choose that, you know, particularly. That's kind of why, like, it's kind of like an impersonal society almost, but anyway, I guess the big thing is, QE3. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I want to get into World War III, soon to be. Oh no. Iran might have a single freaking weapon where Israel's been well, I kind of like Iran going up to Israel and saying, all right, we'll show you if you show us your nukes first, because the IAEA has never set foot in Israel, and I mean everyone's breaking Iran's balls when Israel had a completely secret nukes program to begin with. And I mean, the whole Israel-Palestine thing, I mean, oh my god, Israel and Palestinians, like, Jews and Muslims, you know, the real thing with those two, like with all religions, is just getting along with all religions. It's loving your neighbor, you know, it's loving everyone. You know, it's not like, oh, you know, these people are praising the wrong God. You know, it's not, you know, we need to solve this with violence because the ends justify the means. Oh, and then it's like, oh, you know, Palestinians are a lesser people. It's like, you're a person, you know, like, we're all people, you know, it doesn't matter where you're from, you know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm from here. Oh, you're from there? Oh, well, you know, it's like, oh, you're Croatian? Oh, I'm Serbian, so I must hate you, you know. Yeah, it's ridiculous, you know, all these little petty bullcrap differences, you know, oh, you know. I mean, you have every right to discriminate, you know, as long as you're not infringing on other people's rights, you know, it's like you have every right to who you want to associate with, but, you know, yeah, you have every right to who you want to associate with, you know, with who you want to associate with, as long as you're not, you know, infringing on the rights of others. You know, we have the right to free association, voluntary free association, but yeah, fuck. I hate having this fucking laptop so close to my junk. That's kind of one of the things you start to do when you wake up, you know, you start looking for little things to help your health. I mean, like, keeping the laptops away from your junk. I mean, like, keeping a cell phone, you know, rather strapped to your arm or in your bag, you know, I mean, more than 30 minutes a day on the cell phone, and you get, like, it's like increases in brain tumors, like, over a 10-year period. But I mean, 10 years is not so hard. I mean, just ask Sheryl Crow. I mean, Neil Armstrong, what a, you know, what a shallow prick that guy is. Fucking leaves Sheryl Crow because she got, what was it, breast cancer, and now she has brain tumors, and she blames cell phones, and I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, poor kids, and I mean, like, she was with him even though he didn't have any, well, you know, he didn't have, you know, he had cancer. I mean, like, why is he being such a hypocrite about it? Anyway, you know, it's completely, I don't know, this guy is obviously been completely discredited, and, you know, he played in their game, and, I guess I guess I felt pretty stupid for, wearing those livestrong bracelets, in middle school. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully the Federal Reserve. So anyway, so these this this woman and her children on the border of Syria. I know I'm kind of going topic to topic, but it's like, what would these, like, apparently, like, these kids, like, 250 miles or kilometers away from the Syrian border, were hit by mortars that don't go farther than a few kilometers, and Turkey's decision to retaliate, to answer to this, instead of doing an investigation, is to say that Syria took the blame even though they did no such thing. Start shelling the complete border region, and this is justified because, you know, it's almost like, hey, mother and children that were killed by this mortar attack, you're in heaven, you're in the afterlife now, but I hope you guys feel a lot better now that we're killing a lot of people because, well, in your name, essentially. You know, I don't think this family, you know, would have wanted a war break out in their name, you know, in the name of their deaths, you know, have an exponential amount of people die because of their deaths. I mean, they probably would have wanted an investigation. They probably wouldn't have wanted proxy war to break out, you know, to have this break out in their name, you know, have so much more deaths because of their deaths. I mean, unfortunately, we can't ask them now. You know, Syria apologized in solidarity. Well, they didn't. Sorry, they didn't apologize, but they showed solidarity with the victims. I mean, no one wants to see any more deaths. But you know, these 80% foreigners that are the FSA, the Al-qaeda from Libya, Iraq, everything. You know, it's mind-boggling how completely corrupt this whole system is. Like, now we're, as Corbett put, allies of evil. You know, we're not the axis of, you know, we're not the allies anymore, we're the allies of evil. You know, like, we're ready to go to war with Russia and China. Like, there's going to be some kind of thermonuclear war going on, and no one gives a fuck. It's sad. Like, I'll tell people, like, hey, you know what, Syria's gonna be toppled, man, and it's like, hey, you know what, I'm not saying Assad's a great guy, you know, Lord knows, like, I'm against government in general, you know, it's just, people gotta make their own decisions, you know, we gotta stop acting like we're the Team America World Police, you know, we gotta stop acting like we're the Justice League, you know, going to fight for justice and peace in the world when we're just dropping these democracy bombs. It's ridiculous. Man,